Dogs they execute on a principle in my favorite book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And one of the principles that Dale Carnegie writes about is having genuine interest in other people.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's look at man's best friend. Why do people love dogs so much? Because when you open the door and get home, that dog acts like you're the most important being on the planet. They are so excited to see you. They can't even contain their excitement. In the book, it talks about, like, imagine if a human treated you that way. Like, you walk through the door, like, oh, Jerrod, I'm so glad to see you, jumping up and down. You would have no other choice than to be naturally inclined to love them back. Like, oh, thank you, thank you so. And that's what dogs do for us time and time again. It's like they never get sick of it. They never get sick of you. They're unconditionally loving, and they're always just so genuinely interested and excited and full of love to see you. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly right. I think they see you for who you truly could be. And I think that's why a lot of people have pets, is because not every human in the world sees you for who you could be. They see you for a mistake you've already made, maybe a personal limit they put on you, maybe they see you for a skin color or a gender or whatever, and they don't really give you a complete opportunity. Whereas pets never see that. They're blind to that. And I think for a lot of people, having a pet is that one reminder, that one unconditional reminder every day of every time you're interacting with them of who you could be, right? Like, a pet doesn't care that you made a mistake. They don't care what you look like. All they want is you to love them. And I think, honestly, if more of us treated, just like you said, treated other people like we do with our pets, our world would be so much better. Like, I see some of the meanest, most hateful people love their dogs, but yet they can't give a human the time of day, which is crazy to me, right? Like, how many people, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've heard people say, like, oh, I love dogs more than humans.
Oh, always.
And I'm like, how sad is that? Like, the dog or the pet is there to remind you to love humans, not to love an exclusion. And so I think that's why people have pets, man, is that they only see the best of you. And then my challenge is, man, what if you could only do that for other people? What if you only saw the best in other people? And it's amazing, man. Pets play such a huge role. This week's kind of been tough on us. We put our boxer down, Sir Russell. He was 11. And during that process, it was interesting hearing my 20-year-old and 17-year-old talk about how many problems he helped them through as teenagers. And why? How did he help them? Because he didn't offer advice. He didn't judge. He laid there and let you just tell him everything. And then he licked you. And he loved you. Right? But as humans, we don't act like that.
Yeah.
I think about, like, the first time you tell me a problem, what do I want to do as a human? Tell you solutions. Tell you my problems, right? Like, we can learn so much from watching our animals and remembering to treat other people with similar attributes.
Wow. R.I.P. Sir Russell.
Yeah, it was, it's crazy, that he chose to pass at this time. Like, I think literally his job, because he came into our lives, my oldest daughter was 16, Trey was 11, and Taya was 9. And I think literally his role and why because we rescued him. He had been abandoned in eastern Colorado, just left out in some field. So thankfully, I had a good connection through a dog rescue. Andrea Stout, thank you, and she got him to us. And then he passes literally weeks before Taya graduates and leaves the house. So I think literally he found us and was sent to us to get the kids through these tough times. Times where they don't necessarily talk to a parent.
Mm-hmm.
or they won't share everything, right? Because they know, like, I'm going to judge. Like, that is definitely a fault of mine. Or I'm going to offer advice, or they're just, like, it's just not something you tell your parent. Like, you're going through pain, you don't want to tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was his role.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they're ready to move on, like, it was his time to move on to dog heaven. So I think he was very much at peace, and that allowed the family to have peace.
Yeah. Wow, it is interesting how we can look at dogs who have no way of verbally communicating with us.
Yeah.
Like you said, can't offer advice, can't talk to you, just love you.
Yeah.
And that's such a great lesson right there. But for some reason, so hard for us human beings to do sometimes.
Oh man.
Because I'm the same. As soon as you're telling me something, I wanna try and offer advice or offer a solution. It's hard for me to just shut up and listen and just give you love.
Yeah. No, it's a fault of our creature. It's a fault of our genetics, I think. You know, we're problem solvers. Sometimes we just need to shut up and be good listeners.
Yeah. Agreed. Especially us men, we tend to have more of that problem-solving desire.
That is true. That is one of our innate skills and desires.
Yeah.
That we have to be aware of.
Yeah. So, besides unconditional love from pets, I did some research and found that in the United States, we spend $99 billion a year on pets. Why do you think we spend so much?
Because we have way too much wealth. 99 billion? That's unbelievable, man. I don't know. I find that interesting, right? Like, we spend that much money on pets, yet we also argue about ending hunger. You know, I'm like, well, how much of that would go to ending hunger if we fed humans? I don't know, dude. I don't know why people spend it. I'm not one of those guys. Like, Sir Russell, I love that dude, but he played with sticks. You know, like, we didn't buy fancy toys. And although we did, I got to admit, we did get him a sweater for the winter. He had like a flannel jacket we'd put on him every now and then. I don't know, dude. I that one just baffles me. Like, there's a whole industry that makes billions on that. And I know I see people with, like, their dogs and purses and backpacks, and if that's your deal, I'm good with it. But I'm a much simpler man. My dog plays with sticks and go from there. What about you? Why do you think it is? How many toys does Chloe have? She's spoiled? She's the only kid in your house.
So, not so much on the toys, but she got some pretty high quality food. It's like human grade. It's not kibble. I mean, I've tried it. I take a little bite. Been like, hey, this ain't too bad. It looks like vegetables and chicken, you know.
Was it during fight camp?
It's
you're starving.
I think so. Actually, it was like, let me see what she's eating.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more. I mean, I think it's over $100 a month for her dog food.
Oh yeah, we spent good. We did a nice grain-free diet for Russell. We fed him basically what he would eat in the wild. So that was so we did spend more on his food, but just like humans, I think if you give them better food, you prevent a lot of health issues on the backside.
Right, and that's kind of the idea we have because Courtney has had some pretty high vet bills before.
Dude, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
When did vets become like car salesmen? Like, I take Sir Russell in for something. Next thing I know, I'm getting like a quote for like 8 other services. And the one that always got me, and some of you guys may hate me for this, but brushing my man's teeth. He's a dog, bro. I have not in a million years thought about brushing dogs' teeth. Like, that's why they eat rocks and dirt and sticks and stuff. Like, it cleans their teeth. And, like, every time we take him in for something, they'd be like, well, we really should clean his teeth. And, we could put him down. It's like $500. I'm like, for the 18th time, quit asking me about this. I'm not buying the dental plan from you guys.
We use this dental spray.
Yeah.
It keeps your teeth pretty clean.
You guys do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a pet peeve of mine. I think, honestly, we used to get anxious going to the vet because, like, he'd have to get his shots. And we're like, oh, we're going to have to tell him no to this and to that and to that. Like, all these upsells. I'm like, dude, you're a vet. Like, just just do the little shot.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was always. Andrea actually hated going to the vet.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Just because it felt like high pressure sales again. And then you kind of feel like you're the bad dog owner. Well, I didn't brush my dog's teeth today. And I'm like, Russell, go eat some dirt, bro. Clean your teeth.
That's funny. So, Jerrod, we spend $99 billion a year on pets in the U.S. We've talked about why people have dogs. What is it that we can learn from this strong desire that we have to have pets in the household? Like, what does that say about us?
Well, I don't know what it necessarily says about us, but I think what they're telling us is pretty simple if we'd pay attention, right? A lot of people I know are big on rescue dogs, right? And think about it, to rescue a dog, that means they've already had their trust, their heart broken. That's how they got to a rescue, right? Whether family moved, couldn't afford them, dog got too big for the house, they didn't like, whatever they sent their dog to the rescue for. Like Sir Russell is the most loving dog I've ever had. And his heart was broken. Like his first owners literally drove off and left him in a field. He never held that against us. When he came to our house, he wasn't tentative to love us. He wasn't cautious to love us. He just loved. But like how many times in our lives as humans, because of a bad relationship, because somebody broke your trust, because somebody did something to you, do you now carry that and transfer that to the next person you meet or the next relationship you're in? Or, you know, like we talked about with victimhood, something happened to you 20 years ago and you hold on to it for the rest of your life, living it over day and day. Sir Russell didn't live the day he got abandoned every day. He lived the love he currently felt. So when I was preparing for this episode and watching Sir Russell's transition in life, that's what I thought. I was like, that dude never held it against us if somebody else wronged him. But we will hold that against people forever. We'll hold it against ourselves. Right? Mistakes we make, we hold against ourselves. Mistakes you make, I hold against you. Like, that's the biggest thing I think pets teach you, if you listen, is that it's okay to love again. It's okay to trust again. And we can really improve upon that.